Heartland Season 19 Episode 4 is about to shake things up like never before. The calm before the storm is over now. It's time for heartbreak, truth, and the kind of moments that change everything after the chaos that ended Episode 3. Fans can feel it in the air. Something big is coming. The plane carrying Caleb and Nathan went down into uncertainty, leaving everyone clinging to hope and fear at the same time. Heartland has always been about healing, love, and second chances. But Episode 4 looks ready to test all three. The last time we saw Caleb, his usual humor had faded, replaced by quiet panic as the plane dipped through the clouds. Nathan, trying to stay calm, realized too late that this wasn't just another adventure. It might be the moment that defines who they both really are. Episode 4 isn't about action for the sake of excitement. It's about what happens when two people are forced to face everything they've been running from, with nowhere left to hide. As the story unfolds, we can expect the aftermath of that terrifying flight to set the tone. The question isn't just whether they survive, it's how they survive, and what they'll be when they make it back. Caleb's guilt will eat away at him, that stubborn sense of responsibility he always carries. He pushed for the trip, he took the risk, and now he might have to live with the cost. For Nathan, this moment could be a turning point. He's been holding back his feelings, keeping things bottled up, especially when it comes to Amy. But being trapped, maybe injured, maybe lost out there, it forces a person to see what truly matters. Episode 4 could finally give Nathan the clarity he's been avoiding and maybe, just maybe, give him the courage to face what's waiting for him back home. Meanwhile, back at Heartland, that quiet unease is spreading. Amy can sense something isn't right. It's in the air, the way the wind moves through the ranch, the way the horses seem restless. Even when she's busy working at Pike River, there's a part of her that feels it, that unshakable instinct that something's off. Amy's connection to the people she loves has always been stronger than words. And Episode 4 might explore that invisible thread between her and Nathan. It's the kind of emotional storytelling Heartland does best, where the audience feels the pull without needing anyone to say it out loud. Pike River will likely serve as the emotional center of this episode. It's more than just a place for Amy, it's the shadow of her memories, the reflection of everything she's lost and everything she's trying to rebuild. When she looks at those rescue horses, she's not just helping them heal. She's reminding herself that broken doesn't mean hopeless. And in this episode, that message might hit harder than ever. We could see Amy confronting her past not in anger but in quiet acceptance. Small, subtle moments might bring Ty's presence back into her world. Not as pain, but as guidance. The rescue horse she's working with might be wild, unpredictable, and distant, just like Amy's emotions right now. But as she learns to trust the process again, to move forward despite the uncertainty, it mirrors her own path toward healing. Every small victory with that horse is a reflection of her inner strength. That's where Heartland thrives, showing growth through grace, not grand gestures. And while Amy is finding her balance again, Lou, Jack, and Tim will each have their own moment of reflection, realizing that even in peace, the past never really leaves. But this is still Heartland, and nothing ever stays calm for long. By the end of the first half of the episode, something unexpected will shift the mood again. A phone call, a radio signal, or maybe even a familiar voice breaking through the static. Whatever it is, it'll send a chill through the ranch. It's the moment when everyone realizes that the storm they feared might already be here. And for Amy, that realization won't bring panic, it'll bring purpose. She's lost before, but she's never stopped fighting to protect the people she loves. Episode 4 feels like the emotional core of the season, a test of strength, faith, and connection. The visuals will be simple, the emotions raw. No grand explosions, no over-the-top drama, just real people facing real fear and finding hope where it shouldn't exist. And that's what keeps Heartland special after all these years. It's not about escaping reality. It's about finding the courage to face it. So as the plane's fate hangs in the balance and the ranch grows restless, every fan knows one thing: Heartland isn't just a show about horses and family, it's about the battles we fight inside, the love that refuses to fade, and the moments that remind us that no matter how far we fall, there's always a way back home. The tension around Heartland is thick, like the air before a storm. Amy's been through loss before, but this one feels different because this time, she can't shake the feeling that something's coming, that something's wrong. The day starts like any other, quiet and steady, but there's an uneasiness in her steps. The horses sense it too, their movements sharper, their sounds more restless. Heartland has always had this strange way of letting you feel things before they happen. And in Episode 4, that invisible warning feels stronger than ever while Amy tries to stay focused at Pike River. Lou's at the ranch, juggling too many things at once. Between running the business and holding the family together, she's starting to feel that familiar pressure creeping back in. But what's interesting here is that Lou might finally start realizing how much she's changed. She's no longer just the planner or the fixer, she's learning to let go. To trust that not everything can be controlled. And that's exactly the kind of lesson the Fleming Bartlett family always seems to learn the hard way. Jack, meanwhile, is quiet but watchful. He's been through enough to know when something's off. When Amy calls, pretending everything's fine, Jack hears the worry in her voice. Even if she doesn't say it. That's the thing about family, they always know, even when you stay silent. He's the rock of Heartland, but even rocks crack when they hold too much weight. You can almost picture him standing by the fence line, eyes on the horizon, waiting for anything to break the silence. Back with Caleb and Nathan, things are likely taking a darker turn. If they did manage to land the plane, survival is only the beginning. Injuries, cold, no signal, it's the kind of test that reveals what a person is made of. Caleb might try to play tough, cracking jokes to hide the fear. But the quiet moments will betray him. That guilt, that voice in the back of his mind saying this is on you, will grow louder with every passing hour. Nathan, on the other hand, might start to unravel, not from fear of dying, but from regret. He left Heartland on bad terms, unsure where things stood with Amy. And now, lost in the middle of nowhere, that regret becomes heavier than the silence around him. Episode 4 could use this separation to explore something Heartland hasn't done in a while: parallel storytelling through emotion. On one side, Amy is learning to cope with her fears. On the other, Nathan is learning to confront his. To people tied together by a connection neither can explain. As Amy's hands brush against the horse's mane, calming it down, Nathan might be miles away, whispering to himself, trying to calm his own heartbeat. It's like their energy mirrors each other, both fighting for control, both trying to survive in different ways. And through all this tension, Heartland never forgets its roots, the small, human moments that carry the biggest weight. There could be a simple scene of Amy standing in the quiet barn, looking up at the old photos of her and Ty, her reflection barely visible in the frame. No tears, no breakdown, just that quiet ache that comes from remembering something beautiful and painful at the same time. It's not about sadness anymore. It's about gratitude. She's learning to live with the memories instead of running from them. That's the kind of emotional depth that makes every episode feel personal. But as the episode pushes forward, the peaceful tone will start to crack. Rumors start spreading, someone heard about a missing plane. The weather in that area is getting worse, and no one's been able to reach Caleb or Nathan for hours. That's when Heartland shifts from quiet emotion to full suspense. You can almost feel the air change, the music softens, then drops into silence. Amy's phone rings, and for a moment, she freezes. She doesn't know if she wants to answer it, because deep down, she knows that whatever news comes next could change everything. Meanwhile, Lou's protective instincts kick in. She tries to stay logical, reminding everyone that they don't know anything for sure yet. But her voice trembles just enough to reveal what she's really feeling. Jack, on the other hand, is already moving. He's not the kind of man who waits around. If someone he loves is in danger, he'll find a way to help, even if it means driving out in the middle of the night. And when Jack moves, the whole family moves with him. By the end of the section, the quiet concern has turned into a full-blown emotional storm. The news hasn't confirmed anything yet, but the fear has already settled in. Amy stands by the barn door, the wind blowing hard, her hand resting on the horse's neck like it's the only thing keeping her grounded. The look in her eyes says it all, she's ready to face whatever comes next. And as the camera fades, you just know, this is only the beginning of something that will test the strength of every single person at Heartland. The night at Heartland grows colder, the kind of cold that seeps into your bones and makes you restless. Amy can't sleep. She's pacing the barn, brushing the horses just to keep her hands busy, but her mind is spinning. Every sound feels louder, every creak in the wood sharper. It's like the whole ranch is holding its breath. Somewhere out there, Nathan and Caleb are fighting through the same night. And that invisible connection between them feels almost alive, pulling, tightening, refusing to let go. Heartland Season 19 Episode 4 isn't just another story. It's a storm of emotions where fear, love, and faith all collide in one unforgettable night. By now, word about the missing plane has reached everyone. Lou tries to keep the family calm, but her voice cracks as she reads updates that don't really say anything new. Just the same line over and over again. Search efforts continue, but continue doesn't mean succeed. Jack, never one to sit still, is already halfway out the door before anyone can stop him. He's lived through loss, through pain, through the kind of nights that test your faith. But this one feels different. There's something in his gut that tells him this isn't just another scare. He doesn't say it out loud, but he's ready to go as far as it takes to bring them home. Meanwhile, Amy's emotions are reaching their breaking point. The silence in the barn feels too heavy, too loud. She tries to convince herself that Nathan is fine, that Caleb's stubbornness will get them through. But doubt keeps creeping in. So she does what she's always done, she turns to the horses. She finds herself drawn to the rescue horse again, the one that refuses to be tamed. It's fighting the halter, snorting, pushing back with fear and anger. But Amy doesn't back away. She stands there, eyes locked, breathing steady. It's not just about training, it's about connection. She sees herself in that horse, wounded, restless, terrified of losing control. And slowly, something changes. The horse softens, the tension eases, and for the first time that night, Amy feels a flicker of hope. It's moments like these that remind fans why Heartland hits so deep. It's not the action that grabs you, it's the emotion underneath it. While the world outside feels like it's falling apart, Amy finds her peace in the smallest gestures. The touch of a horse's mane, the sound of hooves on dirt, the quiet reminder that she's not alone. And as she looks up, her eyes drift toward the sky, a sky that's dark, endless, and full of unanswered questions. Somewhere up there, maybe miles away, Nathan could be looking at that same sky, wishing he could tell her he's still fighting. Out in the wilderness, the night isn't kind. Caleb and Nathan are cold, exhausted, and barely holding it together. The small fire they manage to start flickers weakly in the wind. They've been through rough spots before, but never like this. There's no backup, no guarantee, no easy way out. Caleb's trying to keep his spirit up, but his jokes sound hollow now. Nathan sits quietly, staring into the flames, his thoughts all on Amy. You can almost feel what he's thinking, how he left without saying what he should have said. How he might never get the chance to fix it. Heartland knows how to make silence speak louder than words. And this scene might just be one of those powerful, wordless moments that says everything. As morning approaches, the search teams begin to move. Lou gets a call from local authorities. They've narrowed the area, but it's still vast. Jack insists on going, no matter how dangerous it might be. And Amy, though everyone tells her to stay, can't sit still. There's something inside her that refuses to wait. She knows Nathan's out there. She can feel it. It's that same pull she felt years ago with Ty, when danger was near and her heart just knew. This time, it's not about chasing ghosts, it's about following that gut feeling that's never been wrong before. The emotional rhythm of episode 4 will likely swing between panic and faith. Amy's quiet strength will take center stage, showing how much she's grown. She's not that fragile girl anymore, she's someone who's learned how to stand tall, even when everything's falling apart. There's no crying, no breakdown, just determination in her eyes. And that's what makes it powerful. Heartland doesn't need big speeches. Its power lies in the moments where love is felt, not spoken. As the section closes, we might see a single spark of light, a faint radio signal, or a rescue team's call, breaking through static. It's not clear, it's not certain, but it's enough to give hope. Amy stops what she's doing, her heart pounding, eyes wide. Jack turns from the truck, Lou freezes mid-sentence. That one flicker of possibility changes everything. It's the first real sign that maybe, just maybe, Caleb and Nathan are still out there. And that's when the fear turns into resolve. The wait is over, Heartland is about to move. The first rays of morning sunlight hit the ranch. But there's no peace in sight. Everyone's running on pure adrenaline. Lou's phone hasn't left her hand, Jack's already out with the truck, and Amy. She's standing at the edge of the field, eyes fixed on the horizon like she's waiting for a sign. Heartland Season 19 Episode 4 has reached that point where emotion and fear blend together. Where love starts to look like faith. The kind of faith that keeps you moving even when the world around you feels like it's falling apart. The faint radio signal they picked up in the night wasn't clear, but it was something just enough to stir hope in a house that's been drowning in silence. Jack's convinced it came from Caleb's plane. It's them, he says with that quiet certainty only Jack can pull off. Lou's trying to stay calm, trying not to feed everyone's expectations. But even she can't hide the flicker of hope in her eyes. Amy doesn't say much. She just grabs her jacket and heads for the truck. She doesn't need confirmation, her heart already knows. That's what makes Amy who she is. She doesn't wait to be told what to feel. She just knows, out in the wilderness, the situation isn't much better for Caleb and Nathan. Their fire's burned out, the cold's biting harder, and the exhaustion setting in. Caleb's trying to stay strong, pushing himself to keep Nathan awake, reminding him that rescue's coming. But Nathan's losing strength fast. His legs hurt, his voice barely a whisper. And the weight of everything he left unsaid is heavier than any injury. This isn't just a fight against the elements, it's a fight against time, guilt, and silence. In the stillness, Nathan admits something to Caleb, something raw and unfiltered. Maybe it's about Amy, maybe it's about regret. But whatever it is, it's honest, and that's what gives him the will to hold on. Meanwhile, at Heartland, every minute feels like an hour. Lou's coordinating with the search teams, Tim's making calls, and Jack's truck is already miles deep into the back roads. The whole family's energy is focused on one thing, getting them home. This is where Heartland shines, not in flashy rescues or dramatic explosions, but in the unspoken unity of people who do anything for each other. It's that quiet heroism, the kind that doesn't need an audience, that makes these moments hit so hard. Amy's not supposed to go with Jack, but of course she does. You can almost see the determination on her face, that mix of fear and focus. Every bump on the dirt road feels heavier. Every gust of wind sounds like a whisper of what could have been. She doesn't talk much, but her silence says it all. When they finally reach the search zone, the landscape feels endless, trees stretching forever. Mountains in the distance, and somewhere out there, the two people they love fighting to survive. Back at the crash site, the tension reaches its peak. Caleb hears something, a distant rumble, faint at first, then louder. A helicopter. His heart races. He shakes Nathan awake, shouting through the cold wind. "They found us. It's not over yet." But that sound is the first real sign of life in what felt like endless emptiness. And for a brief second, the fear lifts. Caleb laughs, a broken, exhausted laugh, but it's enough. Nathan forces a smile, and for the first time, they both believe they might make it. At the same time, Amy feels something shift. Maybe it's the wind changing direction, maybe it's pure instinct, but she suddenly looks up. Like her soul just caught the same signal. She doesn't know why, but her heart starts pounding. That's Heartland magic right there, the connection that defies logic. That invisible thread that's carried Amy through every loss, every fear, every miracle. And as the helicopter lowers into the valley, we can almost feel the emotion ripple through her. Even miles away, but Heartland never gives answers easily. Just as hope starts to rise, the tension cuts back in. Lou gets a call, and the expression on her face freezes everyone. The signal's been confirmed, but communication's lost again. They found something near the ridge, but the weather's closing in. It's that cruel kind of hope, the one that gives just enough light to make the darkness feel darker. Amy grips the steering wheel, refusing to break. "We're not done," she says softly, voice trembling but sure. "Not yet." That's the theme of Heartland Season 19, Episode 4, not giving up when everything tells you to. The power of believing even when logic says it's over. It's what's kept Amy going since the beginning, what's kept Jack strong through every loss, and what ties this family together through every heartbreak. And as the rescue intensifies, fans can feel it building toward that moment, the one that'll either break their hearts or remind them why they keep coming back to this show every single time. By the end of this section, the world of Heartland stands on the edge of truth. The chopper's in the air, the ranch is waiting, and somewhere between hope and heartbreak, destiny is about to make its move. The sky over Heartland looks calm, but everyone knows better. That kind of stillness only comes before the truth finally hits. Heartland Season 19, Episode 4 has been building to this, every second of silence, every flicker of hope, every prayer whispered into the wind. The family gathers near the porch, phones in hand, hearts in their throats. Lou's pacing, Tim's trying to keep his voice steady, and Jack, he's just staring out toward the horizon. He's seen enough storms in his life to know that some don't end cleanly. But this one, deep down, feels different. It feels like something's about to give. Out near the ridge, the rescue teams push through the cold morning fog. The helicopter hovers low, its blade slicing through the air like a heartbeat. The pilot shouts coordinates, the search crew moves fast, and then silence. For a moment, everything stops. Then a voice comes through the radio, shaky but clear. "We've got movement." It's the kind of line that pulls every bit of breath out of you. Back at the ranch, Lou's hand flies to her mouth, Jack's grip tightens on his hat. And Amy, she just closes her eyes. She doesn't need to hear the rest. She already knows. The next moments feel like forever, static, then confirmation. It's them, two survivors. Weak but alive. The words hang in the air, heavy and unreal. No one moves at first, it's like time freezes just to let the news sink in. Then, almost at once, it breaks. Lou's crying, Jack lets out a quiet sigh of relief, and Amy's running outside. Laughter mixing with tears. It's not loud or dramatic, it's pure emotion, the kind that hits deep. This isn't the victory of a hero. It's the quiet miracle of love not giving up. The episode could shift then, softening its tone, letting the audience breathe again. The rescue scene won't be about action, it'll be about connection. Caleb's voice hoarse but steady, Nathan barely conscious but alive. The moment they see the rescue team, you can almost feel that weight lift. That silent thank you shared between them. Caleb probably cracks a weak smile, something like, "Told you I'd get us out." But behind that humor is the raw truth of what they've just been through. They've both changed. Caleb's learned that not every problem can be fixed with strength. And Nathan's finally seen what truly matters, the people he almost lost, back at Heartland. When the call finally comes through confirming they're being airlifted out, the relief hits like rain after a drought. Everyone's gathered in the living room, Jack, Lou, Tim, Lisa, Katie, all of them, and it feels like the family's heartbeat is finally steady again. But the camera, or rather the focus, always finds Amy. She's standing a little apart, staring out the window, her reflection blending with the light outside. She's smiling, but her eyes are distant. Because this wasn't just about Nathan and Caleb surviving, it was about her finding a piece of peace she didn't even know she'd lost. Episode 4 will likely close with that classic Heartland calm, the kind that doesn't need words to feel powerful. Maybe Amy heads back to Pike River, back to the rescue horse that mirrored her own pain. She walks into the pen quietly, no fear this time, no hesitation. The horse approaches her slowly, as if sensing her change. And when Amy reaches out and touches its mane, there's no resistance. Just trust. That moment, simple, quiet, and full of heart, is what Heartland does better than any show on television. It's not about what's said, it's about what's felt. As the sun sets over the ranch, we see the aftermath not as chaos, but as healing. Caleb and Nathan will be recovering, their friendship stronger than ever. Lou, after holding it all together, finally lets herself break down in gratitude. Jack, always the steady hand, will remind everyone that miracles don't come easy, but when they do, you hold onto them tight. And Amy, she'll stand by that old barn, watching the horses, the wind brushing through her hair, her face peaceful for the first time in a long while. Because that's what Heartland is really about, not the danger, not the rescues, not even the losses, but the way love survives through all of it. Episode 4 isn't just another chapter. It's a reminder that life doesn't wait for you to be ready. It hits hard, teaches you lessons you never asked for, and somehow still gives you reasons to believe again. By the time the screen fades to black, fans will be holding their breath, knowing that even though the storm has passed, Heartland isn't done yet. There's still more healing to come, more stories to tell, and more hearts to mend. Because in this world, love doesn't end when things fall apart, it begins when you find the courage to start again.